Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Alex of Coyote Astrology, and this is my full moon in Capricorn video for the full moon in Capricorn coming in just in time to save the day on June 24th, 2021, which is a Thursday here in California. However, please do adjust for your current location on the planet as that time and date may change. So I say Capricorn's here to save the day, not because it's a super light and fluffy chart, because it definitely isn't that. Capricorn full moons generally aren't. However, I do feel like it is sort of exactly what the doctor ordered. And who better to come and cut through the nonsense of a Mercury retrograde nightmare than the archetype of Capricorn. Capricorn doesn't have time for it. And that's sort of, for me, the essence of this full moon is it's like enough nonsense, enough confusion, ready to take some steps forward, ready to get that clarity, and ready to commit. Capricorn is the archetype associated with maturity. It's the archetypal adult. And it's about being put to task, being present, getting grounded and sober and rooted in our success and our long-term goals. And because Mercury stationed direct just 2 days prior to the full moon, I do feel like Capricorn is here to anchor some of those energies and provide us a calm center, some form of stability from which to launch. This retrograde has been a bit of a nightmare because it was in Gemini, its home sign, so it was extra potent for that reason. It was also squaring on and off with Neptune, the planet of deception and illusion. So it's been kind of this whirlwind, almost like this psychedelic trip over the last few weeks. And Capricorn is here to clean that up, tie up the loose ends, calibrate, and yeah, get some stability from all that. Doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. Mercury direct on the 22nd may not have made everything perfect in your life because we're still disentangling ourselves from those dissipating energies as we still have to wade through post shadow, which ends around the 8th of July. So we're still in it, but we're wading out towards the shallow end, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So what have you learned? What did Mercury retrograde bring up? Retrogrades are about re-examining, rethinking, reassessing. It's about gathering more information. And this Mercury retrograde was important because Mercury was near the North Node. So this brings up our evolution and the shifts and changes that we want to make. And some of these are really massive. But in order to do that, we have to have our head on straight. So having Mercury go direct is, of course, really important. And the ruler of this chart is Saturn, because Saturn rules Capricorn. So we want to look at what Saturn's doing to give us more information on this full moon and the energies. Saturn is in square to Uranus. So this isn't tremendously fantastic because this is a stress aspect, but it's nothing new. Saturn and Uranus are squaring on and off for the entirety of 2021. So it's sort of like the times we're in. This is the battle between the old guard and the new, tradition versus rebellion. And Uranus is about breaking free. It's about higher consciousness and breaking into the future. But Saturn is restricting. So we may have felt all year and in the last few weeks like we're being held back or like our wings are bound and we can't fully break into these new horizons the way that we would like to. However, it is an important keynote and pit stop in this inhale and exhale that we're going through all year, as Saturn and Uranus just made their second square of 3. So we're sort of like halfway through this energy, and these contractions are really important as they're serving to get things in place and get what is out of alignment in alignment so that we can break into that Uranian new future. So Saturn square Uranus, the other big aspect that's kind of like a dark and stormy rain cloud in this chart, I'm going to be honest, is Pluto opposite Venus. This has big implications for relationships during this full moon. But in general, Pluto opposite Venus in Cancer brings up emotional insecurity, because Pluto is going to bring up the shadow of Cancer, which is the wounded inner child. And I sort of think of the shadow of Cancer as the pain body, and how the pain body can sometimes be in the driver's seat. It can be running the show. And this is going to have us seeing reality in a very specific way that may be sort of self-defeating. So Pluto, the transformer, is coming to bring that up this week so that we can look at it and change it. So I'll give you an example of when the pain body is in the driver's seat. We can take a scenario such as, say you're walking down the street, downtown, minding your own business, going shopping, and you run into your two best friends at lunch and they didn't invite you for whatever reason. If we're in our pain body, if we're in our insecure inner child, we're likely to interpret this a certain way. We're likely to see this as an exclusion, feel like they don't love us or they didn't want us there, and we're going to obviously feel bad about ourselves. We're going to go into our little Cancer shell and lick our wounds and maybe even snap, right? We may have some kind of emotional release as a result of feeling unloved. Now, we can take the same scenario, and if we're not in our pain body, if we're in our Leo energy where we feel really confident about ourselves and our relationships, obviously we're not going to interpret it that way at all. We're going to be like, oh, why didn't you invite me? And, often in those scenarios, we get more information and it's like, oh, we did text you, you didn't answer, or I thought you were on vacation, that's why we didn't call or invite you, or whatever. This is just an example of how when we're in our pain body, we're interpreting a situation from that wounded place when the reality of the situation might be much different. So this week with Pluto opposite Venus in Cancer, we may be feeling feelings of inadequacy or fear or lack of safety. And this is really where this sort of self-parenting energy is coming in this chart, not only because Saturn, the mature adult, is the ruler, but also because Pluto is trying to transform Venus, trying to transform the inner child of Venus in Cancer and bring it into its more exalted state. So there might be maturity, insecurity, feelings of needing reassurance coming up this full moon, and combined with the Capricorn energies as well as the ending of Mercury retrograde, again, it's sort of this like tough love approach, like pick yourself up by your bootstraps. If Pluto opposite Venus is showing you where your emotional wounding is creating drama or self-defeating behaviors where they don't need to be there, this full moon can be a moment where we almost get like a snapshot of where do I need to self-parent, where do I need to just really get to work and stop getting in my own way or projecting onto others that they don't care or that I'm unlovable or whatever this Cancer energy is bringing up. But it's sort of like it's time to grow up. It's really time to heal in whatever areas we need to emotionally so that we can step into this new launch point that the Capricorn full moon is bringing up regarding our long-term goals and our success. So it might bring up some tender areas. It definitely might, but the Capricorn full moon is here to stabilize that and here to really help us maturely assess so we can go from there. Venus in Cancer can also bring up financial insecurities, insecurities within living situations, all of this. So it is a little bit of a Plutonian storm this week. We're feeling it actually the day before the full moon. So check in, especially with relationship dynamics. And if there was emotions that came up, check in with the pain body. Am I assessing this from a secure place within myself? Or is there an area that I need to address or do some healing or do some work? All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're interested in reaching out to me for a reading, you can do so at my website, coyotestarastrology.com. I'm putting it up there on the screen. And I'm also putting my Instagram up there, Earth to Coyote. If you don't follow me there, I do lots of astrology on my main page and in my stories. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.